It seemed that Donna Hanover was unlucky in love.
Today's turn of events brings me great sadness. I had hoped to keep this marriage together.
In 2001, her marriage to New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani went down in flames. And that wasn't her first broken heart. In the 1960s, her high school boyfriend, Ed Oster, dumped her in their freshman year at Stanford. But in the summer of 2002, as she was still smarting from her divorce, Oster gave her a call out of the blue.
Told me he was divorced, was going to be in town for some business. Would I have coffee with him? So we took a long walk in Central Park, and he said to me, "I'm so sorry I made you cry all those years ago." And I was stunned because, you stop waiting for an apology after 3-4 months.
Still, there were plenty of butterflies, and a year later, wedding bells.
Will you ever let her go again?
Never. This is my lost treasure. My lost treasure found, never to be lost again.
It's a great story, but it's not really all that unusual. According to a study by a Cal State University professor, former sweethearts who meet up later in life and are single have a better than 70% chance of getting back together for good. Rutgers anthropologist Helen Fisher.
What is it about lost love that is so powerful?
Well, first of all, you never forget the person. And if the timing is right and they come back, you can trigger that brain circuitry for romantic love almost instantly and be back in love again.
And there's no expiration date. Actress Carol Channing fell in love with a boy in middle school before she moved away for a life on the stage. 70 years later, she found Harry Collegian again, fell immediately back in love, and married him at age 82. He passed away in 2011. When actor Fred Savage moved to Los Angeles as a kid for his TV series, he left a young neighbor behind. 11 years later, they reconnected and tied the knot.
Do these young loves imprint themselves on our brain?
I do think they do. That imprinting becomes powerful. Suddenly, that's the body type that you really like. And so you'll look for that in other people.
So then if that person comes back into your life decades later, whoa.
Trigger that brain circuitry and you're off to the races, even at first sight.
In other words, the person you've been looking for could be as close as your high school yearbook. Diana Biederman was a 15-year-old sophomore in Old Tappan, New Jersey, when she first laid eyes on senior Vinnie DeLongis back in 1979.
I just remember seeing him and just sort of melting.
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 They dated, and after a few steamy weeks, Vinnie moved on. He wound up in North Carolina, a businessman with a wife and 2 kids. Diana became a high-powered New York publicist for places like the 21 Club. But her love life was one heartbreak after another.
I never married. I had great friends. I had a great career.
So had you decided, okay, I'm cool, I'm single, this is how it's going to be?
That's the way it is. I adopted a cat.
But by 2013, Vinnie was divorced. And after 30 years apart, he went looking for his lost love, the way a lot of people do now, on the internet.
You made the initial connection, Vinnie.
I did. She actually responded in about 2 hours.
They agreed to meet for a weekend. It went well, so well that after decades of being alone, Diana finally allowed herself to get her hopes up.
But when we got to the airport, when our little weekend was up, I became this emotional mess. I could not stop crying because I had had so much disappointment in my previous relationships. I thought, maybe I should just appreciate this for the weekend it was and don't plan on hearing from him again.
You couldn't dare to let yourself think
that...
No,
because what if he wasn't going to call me? Everybody was trying to comfort me. They're like, what's the matter? What's the matter? I'm like, I just had the best date.
Last February, Diana and Vinnie celebrated their first wedding anniversary.
This is what's left. I love you. Try a bite.
That's stupid.
That year-old wedding cake never tasted so good. Love, it seems, really can be sweeter the second time around.